Weighing the pros and the cons. Number 3, weighing the pros and cons. Something else I used to tell my students, I even do it myself. I list what are the pros, what are the cons. If I decide that I'm thinking about, I want to work out, I want to go back to the gym. I'm just using this example. What are the pros? What are the cons? Depending on which one I choose, the pros, can I live with them? The cons, can I live with them? If the answer is no, then you may want to reconsider whether or not you want to go in that particular direction. Whether or not you want to go in that particular direction for that particular decision. You've got to make some wise choices. Got to make some sound choices. Not rushing in and making impulsive decisions. Number 4. Do not succumb to impatience. We are such a microwave society, y'all. We expect everything yesterday. We've become such a microwave society. And sometimes we have to sit back and be patient. Patience is a virtue. I'm a witness. Patience is a virtue. Sometimes when you're sitting there attempting to be patient, you may be second guessing yourself. Should I just be moving forward instead of, being still or being idle, in limbo, being still? Patience. Sometimes if you're just still, the answer will come, or the problem might work itself out, whereas you don't have to make a decision. Patience is a virtue. It truly, truly is a virtue. What is your motivation? Number 5, you have to make this decision. What is your motivation? Is it selfish or selfless? What is your motivation in making a decision? Think about that. Think about, I have to make a decision and it could affect other people. What is your motivation? What is behind that decision that you're making? Is it an emotional decision? Are you making it out of fear? Are you making it out of anger, resentment, whatever it is? What is your motive? You got to ask yourself. And sometimes when we ask ourselves that question, it reveals sometimes some not so pleasant things. And we have to kind of work through that, peel back the layers of that, work through that, to work through those motives that might not be healthy motives. Because again, at the moment, you make a decision at the moment because you're motivated by anger or hate or jealousy or fear or whatever it is. And then when you get on the other side of that, you say, oh gosh, that was not a good decision. I did not make a good decision in that particular situation. What motivates your decision making? So the first one was prayer, asking for guidance, discernment, meditate on it. Second is research. What information is available either on the web, YouTube, inquiring with others who have been through a similar situation or perhaps have a similar decision to make, but you trust their judgment. What are the pros and cons? And what can you live with? And you want to always play out the worst case scenario. I've always done that. I play out the worst case scenario because I figure if I can figure out the worst case scenario and accept whatever that is, because it may very well occur, accept whatever that is, kind of wrap my brain around that, then I feel you'd be prepared for anything. 4 is do not succumb to impatience, being patient, being still. Sometimes we have to be patient. Sometimes we have to be still and just wait. Your motivation, is it a selfless or selfish motivation? What is motivating you to make this decision? I'm itching to get out of it, and I use this one because y'all know I work out a lot. So I'm just using it as an example. I'm itching to get out of the house. So I'm going to rationalize in my head that it's okay to go to the gym. But is it? I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm just food for thought. But is it? What are the pros? What are the cons? Do I have to grab hold of my anxiousness, my impatience about wanting to go? Or am I just overreacting and, just go and do it? Pros and cons. Thinking these things through. Identifying and being honest with yourself about your motivation for making whatever the decision is. Peer pressure. Teenagers are not the only ones that deal with peer pressure. We know we deal with peer pressure. Teenagers are not the only ones that deal with peer pressure. We see others doing it, or others are pressuring us to do it. But is it the best decision? And I go back to Governor Cuomo because at this moment in time, to me, he's a great example of I'm not succumbing to peer pressure. There are things that I need to think through and think about for my city, for my state. And I'm sure he's catching it. But that's a whole nother topic. But that is one of the good qualities of leadership. Is not succumbing under pressure, but standing firmly on what it is that you believe and what it is that you believe to be right and what it is that you believe to be in the best interest of the people that you are responsible for. That's leadership. Thinking these things through, making sound, wise decisions, not rushing into decisions because of pressure from others. Sound decision-making tips, but also it falls under the umbrella of good leadership as well. And then the last one is, does it align with your values, your morals, the things that you value? What you will do, what you won't do, your boundaries, decision that you have to make. Is it in alignment with that? I remember years ago interview with, and I believe it was Angela Bassett. I could be wrong, but I believe it was Angela Bassett who was offered the role of Monsters Ball, which Holly Berry, I believe, ultimately took that role. It's been a minute, I can't remember, but Holly Berry, I believe, ultimately took the role. And Angela Bassett was interviewed about why she declined the role. And she basically said, or at least the way I interpreted it was, she has set certain boundaries for herself of things that she will do and things that she won't do. And that fell under the category of things that she were not in alignment with what she felt her brand was. No disrespect to Halle Berry. She made a point of saying that. She said, I have to do Angela. And, there are certain roles that I will take. There are certain roles that I will not take. And I stand, firmly on that. So the decisions that you have to make, will they compromise your soul? You know how they say you sold your soul to the devil? That's an old thing. Old folks used to say that. But will it cause you to sell your soul to the devil? Decisions are so important in our lives. We are where we are in our life personally, in our community, and also nationally, based on not only our lives and the decisions that we make for ourselves, those who represent us and the decisions that they are making. Now that is a whole nother topic, and that's scary. which, leads me to shameless plug. Y'all, please vote. Please, please vote. I know you are frustrated. What's the point? Look what happened last time. I don't have time for that. Whatever the plethora of reasons that some of you may have, I hear you. I get it. But when you finish going through all that, can you just do me a favor and just go vote anyway? Okay? Do yourself a favor. Honor those who came before us, who fought, died, bled to have the right to vote. We've got, and for this particular election, it looks like the absentee ballot is going to be the thing. When you get it in the mail, don't toss it aside. Go ahead and fill that thing out. Now, by the time some of you listen to this, it might be on the flip side. Might be too late to apply for the absentee ballot, but it may not be too late to go ahead and vote. Make sure you look at here we're back on decisions, looking at your options. Take the moment to get on the computer to see your local government, the offices, the positions that are open, and who's running for them, and how they will represent you. The number of street lights that you have on your street. Somebody locally is being voted into position to determine that. Your water, your gas, all of these local things, and that's where a lot of the, of course, those Senate, Congress, they start locally in local offices. That's how they wind up in Washington, D.C. So it's not just about the presidential election every 4 years. It's about those local elections as well. Y'all, no, I hear you. I know. But we still have to vote. All right? So those are some nuggets for you this evening. I hope that helps somebody. You can go back, because, that's the beauty of podcast. You can go back. You can listen to this again. You can take some notes. You can share it, with others. But I pray that what has been shared will marinate in your spirit, so when it is time for you to make a decision, not only for yourself, but for those people in your life, you will make the best possible, sound, competent, intelligent, logical, sensible decision that you can make, not only for yourself, but for those who are affected by the decision that you make. So prayerfully and hopefully all of you will embrace the journey that unfolds.